earlier, there are millions of plants and animals in the world. We know the plants and animals in our own area by their local names. These local names would vary from place to place even within a country. Probably you would recognize the confusion that would be created if we didn't find ways and means to talk to each other, to refer to organisms we are talking about. Hence, there is a need to standardize the naming of living organisms such that particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This is identification. In order to facilitate the study, number of scientists have established a procedure to assign a scientific name to each known organism. This is acceptable to biologists all over the world. For plant, scientific names are based on aggregated principles and criteria which are provided in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. You may ask, how are animals named? Animals taxonomists have evolved International Code of Zoological Nomenclature ICZN. The scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. That is the meaning of it. The scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. Description of any organism should enable the people in any part of the world to arrive at the same name. They also ensure that such a name has not been used for any other organism. Biologists follow universally accepted principles to provide scientific names to known organisms. Each name has two components, the generic name and the specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components is called binomial nomenclature given by Linnaeus. This naming system given by Carolus Linnaeus is being practiced by biologists all over the world. This naming system used two-word format was found convenient. Let us take the example of mango to understand the way of providing scientific name better. The scientific name of mango is written as Mangifera indica. Let us see how it is a binomial name. In this name, Mangifera represents the genus, while indica is a particular species or specific epithet. Other universal rules of nomenclature are as follows. Rule number first, biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. Rule number second, the first word in biological name represents the genus while the second components denote the specific epithet. Rule number three, both the name in biological name when handwritten are separately underlined, that is quite important, or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. Rule number four, the first word denote the genus while with the capital letter. You have to write the genus with a capital letter, while the specific epithet start with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. This is written in italics to show its Latinized origin. Name of the author appear after the specific epithet at the end of biological name and written in abbreviated form. Mangifera indica Lin. It indicates that the species was first described by Linnaeus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all the living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable category based on easily observable character. That line is quite important. For example, we easily recognize such groups such as plant or animals or dogs, cat or insect. The moment we use any of these terms, we associate certain characters with the organism in that group. What image do you see when you think of a dog? Obviously, each one of us see a dog and not a cat. Now, if we were to think of illustrations, we know what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were to say mammals, you would of course think of mammals with external ear and body hair. Likewise, in plants, if we try to talk of wheat, the picture in each of our mind will be of wheat plant, not of rice or any other plant. Hence, all these dog, cat, mammals, wheat, rice, plant, animals, etc. are convenient categories we use to study organisms. The scientific term for these category is taxa. Here you must recognize that taxa can indicate categories at a very different level. Plant also form taxa. Wheat is also taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dog are all taxa. But you know that dog is a mammals and mammals are animals. Therefore, animals, mammals and dogs represent taxa at different level. Suppose you are belonging from any of the religious, your religious is also indicating some taxa, your name is also indicating your taxa, something like that. Hence, based on characteristic, all living organs can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification, taxonomy, external and internal structure, external and internal structure along with the structure of cell development process and ecological information of organs are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic study. Hence, characterization, that line is quite important. Characterization, identification, classification, nomenclature are the process that are based to taxonomy and they all are written in sequence wise. You are, when you giving any names to any particular organism, you have to follow these rules. Firstly, you have to characterize that particular organism, then identify, classify, then after give a name to them according to binomial nomenclature. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of organisms, particularly with reference to their own use. In early days, human beings needed to find source for their basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the use of various organisms. Human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more about different kinds of organisms and their diversity, but also the relationship among them. This branch of study were referred to as a systematics. The word systematics derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. Systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematic was later enlarged to include identification, nomenclature, and classification. These three are all later come under the category of this. Systematic takes into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. Taxonomic categories. Classification is not a single step process but involve hierarchy of step in which each step represent rank or category. Both are same. Since the category is part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called taxonomic category, and all categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Each category referred to as a unit of classification. Each category is referred to as a unit of classification. In fact, represents a rank and commonly termed as taxon. Plural word of taxon is taxa. Taxonomic arrangement and hierarchy can be illustrated by example. Insect represent a group of organisms sharing common features like three pairs of jointed leg. That's why they are called as arthropods. It means insect are recognizable concrete object which can be classified and thus were given a rank or category. Can you name other such groups of organisms? Remember, groups represent categories. Category further denotes rank. Each rank or taxon in fact represent a unit of classification. Each rank or taxon in fact represent unit of classification. These taxonomic groups, categories and distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. Distinct biological entities, not, this word is very important, not merely morphological aggregate. Taxonomic study of all known organs have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum or division for plant, class, order, family, genus and species. All organs including those in the plant and animals kingdom have species as the lowest categories. Now the question you may ask is how to place an organism in various categories. The basic requirement is the knowledge of characters of individual or groups of organisms. These help in identifying similarities and dissimilarities among the individual of the same kinds of organisms as well as of other kinds of organisms. Species. Taxonomic study consider group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as a species. One should be able to distinguish one species from the other closely related species based on the distinct morphological differences. Let us consider Magnifera indica, the Solanum tuberosum potato and Petunia leo. All three named Indica tuberosum leo represent a specific epithet while the first word Magnifera, Solanum, Panthera are given and represent another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithets represent different organs but having morphological similarities. That is very important. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called tigris, and Solanum include species like Nigrum and Melanogena. Melanogena. Human beings belong to the species sapien, which is grouped in the genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human beings is written as Homo sapiens. Genus. Genus comprises a group of related species which has more characters in common in comparison to species of other genera. We can say that genus and genera are aggregates of closely related species. Aggregate means sum of. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but both belonging to the genus Solanum. Lion, Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, and tiger, Panthera tigris, with several common features, are all species of the genus Panthera. This genus differ from another genus Felis, which includes cat. Family. The next category, family, has group of related genera with still less number of similarities as compared to genus and species. Families are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features of plant species. Among plant, for example, three different genera, Solanum, Petunia, Dhatura, are placed in the family Solanaceae. Solanum, Petunia, and Dhatura are placed in the family Solanaceae. Among animals, for example, genus Panthera comprises lion, tiger, leopard is put along with the genus Felis in the family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe the features of cat and dogs, you would find some similarity and some differences as well. They are separated into two different families, Felidae and Canidae, respectively, but they both come in the same order. You have seen earlier that categories like species, genus, and families are based on number of similar characters. Generally, orders and other higher categories are identified based on the aggregates of character. Order, being a higher category, is the assemblage of families which exhibit a few similar characters. The similar characters are less in number as compared to different genera included in family. Families like Convolucii, Solanaceae are included in the order Polymonials, mainly based on the floral characters. The animals order Carnivora include families like Felidae and Canidae classes. These categories include related order. For example, order Primata comprises monkey, gorilla, and gibbon is placed in class Mammalia, along with orders Carnivora that included animals like tiger, cat, and dog. Class Mammalia has other orders also. Phylum classes comprises animals like fish, amphibian, reptiles, birds, along with mammals constitute the next higher category called phylum. Phylum, these based on the common features like presence of notochord and dorsal hollow neural system, are included in phylum Chordata. In case of plant classes with similar characters are assigned to higher categories called division. Phylum is used for animals and division is used for plants. Kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to the highest categories called Kingdom Animalia in the classification system of animals. The kingdom Plantae, on the other hand, is distinct and comprises all plants from various divisions. Henceforth, we will refer to these two groups as animals and plant kingdom. Taxonomist taxonomic categories from species to kingdom have been shown in ascending order, to starting with a species in figure 1.1. These are broad category. However, taxonomists have also developed subcategories in the hierarchy to facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa. Look at the hierarchy in figure 1.1, that is here. Can you recall the basis of arrangement? Say, for example, as we go from species to kingdom, the number of common characters goes on decreasing. Lower the taxa, more are the characteristics that the members within a taxon share. Higher the category is, greater is the difficulty to determine the relationship to other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification become more complex. Table 1.1, that is quite important. Every year, many questions asked from this table. Summary, that is also become quite important. The living world is rich in varieties. Millions of plant animals have been identified and described, but large number is still remain unknown. The very range of organs in terms of size, color, habitat, physiological and morphological features make us seek the defining characteristic of living organisms. In order to facilitate the study of kinds and diversity of organisms, biologists have evolved certain rules and principles for identification, nomenclature, and classification of organisms. This branch of knowledge dealing with this aspect is referred to as a taxonomy. Taxonomist studies of various species of plant and animals are useful in agriculture, forestry, industries, and general for knowing our bioresources and their diversity. The basis of taxonomy, like identification, naming, and classification of organs, are universally evolved under international codes. Based on the resemblance and distinct differences, each organ is identified and assigned a correct scientific biological name comprising two words as per the binomial system of nomenclature. An organs represent occupy a place or position in the system of classification. There are many categories ranked which are generally referred to as a taxonomic category or taxa. All the categories constitute a taxonomic hierarchy. The mnemonics for learning this table is king's people die. King's people die cause of 5 green snack. King people die cause of 5 green snack. This is the mnemonics through which you can remember this table very easily. King's people die cause of 5 green snack. Thank you.